The use of technology in agriculture is part of our discussion on today's show. We zone in on drones and their use to give real-time data on damage to crops and help with predial larceny. Plus, how you can treat recycled water for irrigation use. Hello, I am Adrian Atkinson and this is Jamaica Magazine. Also in our show, we continue to share the message to search for and destroy mosquito breeding sites. Please stay with us.
Are you registered to vote? If not, don't miss your chance to get on the next voters list. The deadline for registration is Friday, September 29. Persons not registered by September 29 for the November voters list cannot be added before May 2018. To get registered, simply visit the EOJ constituency office nearest you. For more information, call us at 922-0425-9 or visit www.ecj.com.jm. Remember, voting is your right.
Good day, I'm Carrie-Ann Smith and this is your JIS News for Thursday, September 28. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says he's considering the provision of educational support services in Jamaica for high school children from hurricane-affected countries in the region. Mr. Holness says the provision would be made available to students who are sitting similar regional exams, such as CAPE and CSEC. The consideration is an added level of support for islands most impacted by the recent passage of Hurricanes Irma and Maria. In Parliament Tuesday, Prime Minister Holness said government would also be assisting where possible with the reconstruction of infrastructure in Dominica. In 2015, the government through the National Works Agency and the Jamaica Defense Force provided Dominica with assistance in rebuilding bridges washed away by Tropical Storm Erica.
We have never seen 2 Category 5 hurricanes develop in such rapid succession, moving almost in a similar path and causing the destruction that they have caused. It is a sign, Mr. Speaker, that governments ought to prepare themselves for this being the new normal. The immediate challenge for small island nations like ours is the breakdown in security that these natural disasters can create.
And so Mr. Holness says government is making the necessary resources available to the National Disaster Committee for work to be fast-tracked on the continuation of government plan. The Jamaica Defense Force has also been instructed to do an analysis of the island's airlift capacity in light of government paying $50 million to airlift 200 Jamaicans from the British Virgin Islands. 322 rooms have been added to the hotel stock with Sunday's opening of the Jewel Grand Montego Resort and Spa. Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett says the $96 million spent by Sagicor to acquire and refurbish the former Palmyra property is a sign that more Jamaican companies are investing in the tourism sector. The upgraded Jewel Grand is among 6 hotels being operated by Sagicor. Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, Dr. Horace Chang, says he's satisfied with the show of interest in the divestment of the Norman Manley International Airport, NMIA. 8 firms have been selected by the divestment team, spearheaded by the Development Bank of Jamaica, the NMIA, and its enterprise team. A preferred bidder is expected to be selected by March 2018. At Tuesday's opening of a bidders' conference, Minister Chang said the divestments are part of a strategic plan to put the country on an accelerated growth path.
Jamaica has emerged as one of our major regional and international hubs for air and sea travel and is now poised for even greater exploit as we seek to grow the economy and create the framework for not only private development, private sector involvement in the economy, but to really position Jamaica as one of the central area of economic activity in this region.
As government continues to enforce measures to fight crime, citizens are being urged to exercise their personal responsibility and assist in crime-fighting efforts. In making the call, Minister of State in the Ministry of National Security, Colonel Charles Jr., says citizens' involvement will significantly reduce disorders associated with crime and corruption.
You have to become a part of the solution. You have to reject taking the shortcut when you know it is illegal. You have to reject trying to gain personally when you know that what you are doing is leading to the creation of disorder and indiscipline, which is what allows people to feel okay murdering our police and murdering themselves.
Minister Charles was speaking at a church service on Sunday to mark the 21st anniversary of the Regional Drug Law Enforcement Training Center, Red Track. Red Track is the region's leading drug law enforcement institution, delivering tailored training solutions to 18 English-speaking Caribbean countries. Capacity building initiatives center on law enforcement as well as drug, border, and financial control. Work is advanced on the development of a national registry for senior citizens. Portfolio Minister Shahini Robinson says the registry will complement work being done on the revised national policy for senior citizens. The policy to be submitted to Cabinet shortly for review will include an assessment of the Ministry of Labour and Social Security's programs geared towards seniors.
The registry will seek to capture data on all our senior citizens and lay the foundation for the government to better address their needs. Through policies and programs, we will know what to do better when we have this registration.
Minister Robinson was speaking at the recent launch of Senior Citizens Week. This year's program of activities will focus on promoting intergenerational solidarity. The minister also used the media launch to appeal to Jamaicans to protect seniors from maltreatment.
I want to make it clear that this society should not and will not tolerate the abuse of our senior citizens, and that every step will be taken to ensure their safety, well-being, and welfare.
As part of government's growth and development agenda, a campus of the Caribbean Maritime University, CMU, will be established in St. Thomas. At a recent JIS think tank, the university's executive director, Dr. Fritz Pinnock, said the parish is well suited for a campus based on its natural resources.
When you go to Cow Bay, they're the deepest waters in the whole region. You don't need to dredge, you can have just about anything there, right along the coastline. Very good waters for development. And so it's a natural fit, and with the highway infrastructure, it will take only 15 minutes across.
Formerly the Caribbean Maritime Institute, CMU was awarded university status today. And finally, the Office of the Prime Minister, OPM, will in 30 days respond to the issues and concerns raised in the Safe Cockpit Country petition. The petition, brought by the Jamaica Environment Trust and other Jamaicans, passed the targeted 15,000 signatures on the OPM's website, a full week before the September 30 deadline. Meanwhile, the OPM emphasized its support for initiatives aimed at protecting the environment and encouraged citizens to take care of their surroundings by adopting sustainable environmental practices. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Carrie Ann Smith. Thanks for watching.
The Agriculture Ministry has been employing different strategies to grow the sector and achieve efficiency in key areas, one of which involves accurate data collection from natural disasters. Recently, a demonstration of the use of drones was carried out for that and other purposes. Let's see the results.
The Ministry of Industry, Commerce, Agriculture and Fisheries is looking to employ the use of drone technology in the agriculture sector to provide useful data to drive production and productivity. Collaborating with local company DNC Drones, Minister without Portfolio J.C. Hutchinson held a demonstration with farmers in Low River, Trelawney in August. It showed the farmers that the drones will be able to assess damage to their sector from natural disasters such as a flood and help them identify measures to boost crop yield.
What we are looking for the drone to do is that once we have crop damage after a hurricane or flood, we usually find that when the estimates come in, we find that the estimates are not usually correct, because many of the extension officers can't reach the areas where the damage is. With the drone, we are able to go over and identify all the crops, all the animals that have been lost, and bring back the picture within a day.
Director of DNC Drones, Nigel Davies, said this type of drone technology is called precision agriculture,
which basically is collecting data in real time, analyzing that data, and then interpreting data to advise the farmer as to the status of his crop, which is basically his nutrient contents in his crop, the moisture content in his field, and how much he has. Because this technology can also count the number of hills of yam, potato plants, tomato plants in the field. We can assess, let's say, the number of animals that died. We can measure that. We can tell you that, wait a minute, that these guys had 20 acres of yam here, and we knew that 6 months ago it was 50 hills of yams. We now can say he lost 50 hills of yams. So the drone technology is used widely in disaster management.
Other benefits of the drones include giving a clear picture of crops under production and identifying areas with irrigation needs and crops that are lacking in nutrients.
We have what we call a multispectral camera, which is this little camera on this particular drone, and it takes pictures of the plants. As you well know, plant leaves basically absorb sunlight and reflect sunlight. So this is a special camera that rejects infrared or near infrared, and then it can use that data using an algorithm to tell us how much nitrogen, how much potassium, how much phosphorus, or the lack thereof in a plant. We also can tell you the moisture content in the field.
Now, if that can be done, we will be able to tell the farmer what needs to be done with his different crops. And with that, we are looking at seeing how we can not only increase production, but we can increase productivity. So with the technology, we are looking to see if we can bolster agriculture.
The drone demonstration in Trelawney is the first of an island-wide campaign by the Agriculture Ministry to sensitize farmers about the benefits of the technology.
We feel that it can be able to counteract predial larceny in a certain way, and we are going to see how we can get it going so that we are able to counteract predial larceny for the farmers.
We can identify cows or any animals, as the case may be, that may be hidden anywhere. Let's say, for example, Marstorm. You know Marstorm only have 5 goats in his field, but all of a sudden, in the backyard, he might have another 10. We can survey that area and identify the number of cows or goats, as the case may be, using our thermal imaging camera. We can't solve the problem, but we can aid in recovery of animals or monitor a man's farm. Minister, we're going to work with you and try to streamline the technology to ensure that we can attain that goal.
I think the drone is going to make a big difference as far as us moving forward in agriculture. I want to see a revolutionization of agriculture in this country.
No worry yourself, man. I'm certified, licensed, and ready for the pest control work.
Mount make me say anything, you know.
That is why I travel with my documents: PCA ID, insurance, pest control operator's license, applicator certificate, with picture and everything. Signed, stamp, seal, and up to date.
So, when them expire?
See it here on the document. All pest control personnel and companies have to be approved by the Pesticides Control Authority.
For a list of licensed companies, contact the Pesticides Control Authority at 754-9306.
We continue our discussion on the use of science and technology in agriculture. Students from the Nocalva Agricultural School tell us how to treat recycled water for irrigation use.
I'm studying general agriculture. I want to be a veterinarian. bioengineer. I want to manage my own agricultural business.
They are the future of the agriculture sector and are working towards making a significant impact.
You have certain crops in Jamaica that are being depleted. I would like to re-engineer those crops and bring them back into the world. I'm planning to do something similar to this, or if I can fine-tune the same thing and rename it into a brand that I can offer to the economy, I want to do this.
This is the KISA model, a project that highlights an approach that can be taken by farmers to treat recycled water on their farms to irrigate field crops.
The main purpose of this layout right here is to have an environment where we try to have less economic problems, try to build up a system that is economically and environmentally friendly.
The idea and design came out of a need to implement such a system on the grounds of the Hanover-based agricultural school. The Nakalva students also believe that the KISA model will be able to sustain farmers through periods of low rainfall and drought. Here's how it will work. Say you are a pig farmer. Each time you wash the pig pen, that water can be channeled to various treatment points. The water, along with the waste substance, will then pass through a biodigester, allowing you to produce your own energy for your farm as well as manure.
In the biogas digester, anaerobic bacteria breaks down or digests the material and releases a gas known as methane gas. This methane gas is then sent to the control station where our generator converts this gas into energy and is used up on the farm on a day-to-day basis. So after the biogas digester, the solid part of the material is sent to the drying bed. In the drying bed, it is left open where it can be dried completely. After it is dried, the material is then used back in our outfield and our greenhouse as organic material or manure.
Following that is the water treatment process. The liquid from the drying pond is sent to the anaerobic pond, which is the first stage of treatment.
In this pond, there's a substance known as BOD. BOD is biological chemical oxygen demand. This is the amount of oxygen that bacteria requires to break down organic matter. It is reduced by 85% in the anaerobic pond, and in the second pond, which is the facultative pond, it is reduced by 95%. In the facultative pond, algae is present to add additional oxygen to the water by photosynthesis. And doing this, the algae also removes nitrates and phosphate, therefore purifying the water a little further.
From here, water moves to maturation ponds 1 and 2. This process is to move coliform bacteria.
Anaerobic respiration occurs at the bottom of the pond. The main purpose is to reduce pathogens like bacteria, viruses, E. coli, and no chlorine. Then it will travel in a channel to storage pond, where the water stays there.
This storage pond will also facilitate rainwater harvesting.
This harvested water is used to lower the pH of the water stored in the storage pond, and it is also used to spread out the level of pathogen in the water. This is done because there is a recommended level of pathogen per liter in the water, and doing this will reduce the amount of concentration of pathogen in that specific liter. After the treatment of the water, it is then sent to the control station where the generator and pump is activated, and it is dispersed into our outfields and in our greenhouse irrigation system. So I believe that this is one of the best ideas that all Jamaican farmers should partake in. Not only that it is very beneficial to our economy, it is also beneficial to your pockets. To get this started, it is not really an easy process, but over a period of time you'll realize that because you are creating your own energy, you don't have to go ahead and buy water, because you're the one reusing, recycling your water, you're the one harvesting your water, you're the one treating it, so you don't have to pay to do all of those processes.
It is this application of technology and innovation within the agriculture sector that is being promoted by Portfolio Minister Caenwood.
We have to become technology savvy, and we have to introduce it at all elements of agriculture, because that's the only way that we are going to be on the cutting edge of competition.
And the Minister Samuda is encouraging young people to be part of this transformation by choosing areas of agriculture as careers.
The future of Jamaica's agriculture must rely on the wisdom of the old, but the energy of the young. They are the ones who are going to carry this process forward.
Did you know that in a recent survey done by the OCA in schools across Jamaica, 43% of the students received inappropriate messages from strangers? The OCA wants you to be smart online. Never speak to persons you don't know. Parents, encourage your children to be social but be smart.
This message was brought to you by the Office of the Children's Advocate with support from UNICEF.
Up next, the recent rains have provided the opportunity for the increased breeding of mosquitoes. So here's a reminder to destroy their sites. As Shireen Huntley-Jones will show you, the Ministry of Health is leading the way.
Mosquitoes are undoubtedly annoying, with their irritating sound and stinging bites. But there are more compelling reasons we'd rather not have them around. Several species are carriers of diseases and a threat to human health. Of most significance to Jamaica is the Aedes aegypti mosquito, known to transmit dengue fever, chikungunya, yellow fever, and the Zika virus. Only female mosquitoes bite, doing so to get the blood they need for egg production. And therefore, only female mosquitoes transmit these viruses.
The Aedes aegypti mosquito is what we call a timid feeder. So she's easily disturbed when feeding. It means that in one night, she may feed on several persons before she takes her complete blood meal. Each time she feeds, she secretes that substance. And in the secretion of the substance, the pathogen is passed on. So in one night, one female Aedes aegypti mosquito is able to infect more than one person.
The female Aedes aegypti mosquito is a prolific breeder.
One female Aedes aegypti mosquito is able to lay up to 200 eggs each time she lays her eggs. So one mosquito can populate an entire area.
The lifespan of the mosquito is around 3 weeks, and the entire cycle from egg to adult can occur in as little as 7 to 8 days. Female mosquitoes are ready to mate within a few hours after reaching their adult stage, and males are usually ready within 24 hours.
This mosquito prefers cleaner waters. For the female mosquitoes, she will lay her eggs in water, and for the Aedes, it will be water which is in and around the household.
So while there are a number of things we can and should do to prevent being bitten, the most effective way to prevent the spread of diseases by these mosquitoes is to prevent their breeding.
The Aedes aegypti mosquito is a mosquito that breeds in a containerized environment. They do not breed in rivers and drains, but they breed in containers that can be found in and around where persons dwell. So come with us and let us show you some of those breeding sites. This is a typical dish drainer that we find in most homes. And under most dish drainer is a tray that collects the water that comes off the dishes. And believe it or not, we have found breeding in several homes in these dish drainers. Yes. you can see that we have water that has settled. If this water does not evaporate quickly, it can lend itself to the breeding of the Aedes aegypti mosquito. So you not only have to empty the dish drainer, but you have to scrub to remove those eggs. This is the typical saucer that we will find under a plant. The rain has recently fallen, it has collected water, and right now it is steaming with the Aedes aegypti mosquito. Do you have some of these in your home? Aedes aegypti prefers water that is a little bit on the cleaner side, and it's found in a shaded environment. So what should we do with something like this? It's quite simple. You need to throw away the water. And if these containers are not being used, you have to keep them turned down so they're not able to collect water. If you have them under your plants, we ask that you bore holes in them so that it will not collect water. Do you have these in your homes? We find these in a lot of hotels and business places. And we ask those persons, check these bird baths or any ornamental things like these you have in your garden to ensure that they are not breeding the Aedes aegypti mosquito. There are things like this thrown down in person's backyard. Old equipment, old furniture, old fixtures that are taken from homes, especially during construction. These are also able to hold water. And if they're holding water and sit for a while in the environment, they will also breed mosquitoes. And so we have found breeding in wheelbarrows, in old refrigerator, in old sinks such as this one. And we ask persons, if you're throwing out these, please ensure that they are positioned in such a way that they will not collect water.
Many persons, when they do have their drums, most times drums do not have any covers. So there is a mesh cover which is so designed to replace the missing covers. It is lightweight, and what we do is just simply slip it over, and the mesh is so designed mosquitoes will not be able to go through this mesh to get to the water. So this is the ideal way. One of the benefits also of this mesh is that even when rain does fall, water will go right through it. This is a typical example where this we have is a plastic drum and we have a metal cover here which is not designed for this. Whilst in some practice the intent is good, there may be occasions in which it does not fit or sit properly, and as a result you still have openings where mosquitoes can go right through and breed.
The mosquito is breeding right there in some very small places right around where you live. What is the habit we want you to develop? Once every week, search for and destroy the breeding sites of the Aedes aegypti mosquito.
Yo, this is We're committed to reducing the impact of disasters occurring in Jamaica. We're ever ready to assist you before, during, and after a disaster. But everybody have a role to play, so make we work together and follow the plan. Whether rich or poor or where you come from, hurricanes affect everyone, so be prepared. Prevention is better than cure. Be prepared. Listen to OPM.
A message from the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management.
We have come to the end of our 30 minutes, but certainly not the end of your connection with us. Just log on to our website, jis.gov.jm. And while you're online, send your feedback to jamaicamagazine@jis.gov.jm or tweet @JISnews. On behalf of the entire production crew, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Walk good.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.